That was the Young Bloods from when I was a kid. That was one of the songs we used to walk around arm in arm singing that song loud in public. And oh my gosh, I just was so filled with hope
Yeah.
back in those days. I still am, but
Yeah.
gosh, we really thought we could change the world. And yeah, I guess we have, haven't we?
Yeah.
Anyway, good evening. Welcome everybody for a wonderful sharing of finding your inner guide. Rafi, I'd love to hear what you have to say, brother.
I just want to reflect back a little on what you said earlier before we got into this formally about the feelings of this, feeling that, feeling this, feeling that. A lot of people confuse love, peace, happiness with feelings because they feel like feelings, but they're not feelings. It's a state of being. Okay, feelings is apathy, grief, fear. Okay, feelings is anger. Those are feelings, and they're non-loving feelings. But the states of being, when you're happy, you're God. When you're loving, you're God. When you're at peace, you're God. That's the reality. And people say, "Well, I feel great, yay, boy, I'm just happy, yay." Well, that's the truth of what we really are. If nothing caused it, if you did something, that made you feel happy, that's going to last for 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's going to go away because all it did was quiet your mind for a moment so the happiness that we are can come to the surface and reveal itself. And I had a long discussion with somebody yesterday about that because they kept confusing it. I feel so loving. That's what you are. And it comes on like a feeling because the mind can't relate to it, and the ego mind can't relate to it in any other way. So it defines it as that. But get beyond that, and the states of being are the states of being, and peace, joy, love, even abundance. I mean, Leslie Levinson said, "You want to see abundance? Look around you. That's what's real." Okay. Even though it's a dream and it's not real, it's still perfect. And it's showing you stuff. If you react to it, you got something to take care of it. You don't react to it, you're in peace and you're all loving. Then you're back in the states of being. That's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Rafi. And yeah, Brooklyn suggested that we talk about miracles are miracles, and that is a miracle, what you just were talking about. To go from a state where you think, you think it's a feeling, I feel uh what are some of the things that people mistake as feelings? Um, I feel imposed on. Well, imposed on is not a feeling. I feel taken for granted. I feel used. Those are not feelings. Feelings, feelings really are just it's very simple. And you know how the course it just says, God's will for you is perfect happiness. And that's what it is perfect happiness. And Jesus often says the words holy joyous. Holy joyous. That's what we are. What you're just saying, that's exactly our nature. It's what we are. We are wholly joyous. And when we are not encumbered with all of our stories about everything around us that's happening, we are wholly joyous. And that the miracle for me is moving out of that state of imaginary story and into a state of perfect happiness, joy. And sometimes I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, I'm so happy. I just feel so good. This is so wonderful. So, I mean, many times a day, it's not like, thinking about anything or doing anything or not doing anything. It just comes over me this just joy and happiness. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's our nature. And I'm so grateful to have that. And for me, that's a miracle. So that's those are my miracles. How about anybody else? Got anything? Yeah, Brooklyn, please.
Namaste, mighty companions. Oh, Rafi, Lenny, everybody, we're so blessed, to be in love. Yeah, yeah. I had, like I'm not pushing anything away. And today fear came up for me. And it like it has heavy, and my throat's hurting a little bit. And I just met I met my family, and then I see I have an appointment with the dentist May 1st. And then I look up Bella pneumonia and I get myself all worked up. And then I look, if it hurts more, I'll see ENT. That's it. And I'm not sorry I got together with my family. I'm very grateful for it. And I'm grateful for this. And I wrote a poem that I read, I wrote after I got together with my family. And it's ratting out the ego again. I call it gratitude. Um, it disguises web as intuition, another mask fear designed. So shrewd it knows all thoughts it made, from boogeyman to true life terror. It invades an intellect still ripe to judge, vigilant to keep the power we gave it. Fear fears a trust that loses doubt. Tug of war dissolves in absolute. Thank you. You muted, Lenny, but I see your hands on your heart and you're
Oh,
smiling.
yeah, I was saying, wow, that was beautiful. Yes. And then, boy, I felt that, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm use all feelings for poetry. And to go even deeper and deeper. And of course it's infinite from what I hear.
Oh my gosh. And it's so funny. Rafi, I see you have your hand up, so I'll turn it to you in a second. We went over to my kids' house on Sunday for Easter with my grandkids and just, had a great time. Kids are just adorable, so much fun. Um, the kids, are eating a lot of chocolate and candy and those little peeps. They're like little marshmallow things, they're disgusting.
Gelatin in it.
Yeah, yeah. But they were eating, all this stuff. And so then my daughter called me yesterday morning, and I guess the girls were up throwing up all night. And I mean, for 2 days they've been sick, having all sorts of gastrointestinal disturbance. And she called me because she was worried. She was like, "Did any of you guys?" Because she thought maybe we fed something they cooked
Mm.
made them sick, but no, it was too much. It was chocolate bunnies and peeps and jelly beans and oh my Lord. I am just but now maybe they'll learn, maybe they won't. Anyway, Rafi, please go ahead.
Just want to again go back to something you said right at the beginning and just expand on that a bit. It is essential to welcome all feelings.
Mhm.
A lot of times we get a feeling like it's a fear thing. We don't like it, so we bury it or we try to distract ourselves from it. We suppress it and pretend it's not there. It's there. It's going to come up again. But all feelings come up to leave anyway. But if you don't welcome them, and especially if they're those you don't like, resentment or grudges or anger or something like that. Well, I don't want to, walk around feeling, be looking like I'm mad at somebody. I'll just bury it and pretend. It's there. But if you welcome it, and then it's easier to let it go, then you're back in that state of, peace again, or happiness, or being all loving. Again, the danger for a lot of people is I don't like these feelings, so
Mhm.
I'm going to find a way to pretend they're not there, or suppress them, or escape from them. Very, very dangerous.
Well, yeah, and we do that, well, obviously because we're afraid, and so, we don't want to, we have this superstitious mind that, the ego just thinks, so, well, if I admit to it, then I'll make it real, and then it'll just get worse and worse and worse. And it's just like, there's so many things that we put off in our life, based on, a fear that we have that we are not willing to face. I was just reading before we started up an article about how people, and I don't want to bring up sickness here, but how people recognize that they have, like, cancer, and they've had this something wrong for a long period of time, and were so afraid to look at it that they didn't go and have it checked, and then finally became convinced, from one way or the other, better go have that checked, and find out that they have some serious illness. That is not uncommon. That's a very common thing that people do, because we're afraid and we don't want to have the suspicion, the fear, have it confirmed. Yeah, yep, there's something really wrong here. But that's how we do about everything. Hey, Ozzy, when you have a relationship with somebody, and you start noticing, things are a little bit off. You're not really hearing, they're not really talking to you like they normally do, or they're avoiding you, or, whatever. And it turns out that you have that they have decided that they don't like you anymore, and they want to go be friends with somebody else, or, marry someone else, or any of the things that, people come up with. If they would have only at the beginning, when they were feeling uncomfortable, if you'd have been able to have a conversation that was honest and open, but people don't want to have those conversations because they're afraid. Or, if there's just so many reasons that we avoid facing our emotions, and in doing so, cause us to have, worse problems later on, because not because we bury it. And what you bury, um, it doesn't go away. It just sits there and grows. And then when it finally, is noticed, then it's already, gotten almost out of control. And we do that, um, it's just our culture and society. And I wanted to, let's see, anybody else have their hand up right now? Brooklyn, oh, please go ahead. I'm gonna go find something I wanted to share with the group. So go ahead and say what you're gonna say, and then
In A, they had a saying, whatever you feed will grow. Like, using a lot of effort to keep it down. And but it's practice, right? Like getting to Carnegie Hall, practice, noticing, I practice, try, not try, I don't know what words to use, but I notice, I notice who I'm not. Thank God. And I think my throat's hurting from nerves, from the fear, of course, the ego brings me back to when it was an infection and blows out of proportion, and the thing. Yeah.
it's a
But
memory of pain.
exactly. And so yeah, I that's every time, I use that as an opportunity for me to realize that I'm not that, Thank you, God. Thank you.
Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it happens, same kind of thing happens to me. I have asthma, have had asthma my whole life. It's freaking ridiculous. It drives me so crazy. And I've gone through every kind of treatment, have every kind of, believe me, my house is stacked with nebulizers and things. I use oxygen, trying to keep my breathing going, right? And like right now, it's just fine. But I could start thinking about it just even a little bit. I could start thinking about it just a little bit. And all of a sudden, I'll be having trouble breathing. And the next thing you know, I need my inhaler.
Mm.
It's like, I know that it is something that, I mean, I know that I have an amount of control over it because I can do the opposite thing too. When I'm really having a difficulty, I can, go into kind of a meditative mode and literally relax that area so that, I can breathe and breathe right. So I know that, I mean, it's not a physical illness, but it's something that I've got so ingrained in my mind as being what I am that it I forget that I'm not that. I don't know how if that makes any sense. But anyway, Rafi, please go ahead.
Uh, what you just said was so right on. It's stuck somewhere in your head and you haven't quite discovered what it is, so you can get rid of it so your body doesn't have to tell you hello and can warn you anymore. But the thing I was going to talk about was that we hinted on a little bit before, is this trying to protect yourself with fear, which is impossible because what you fear will appear. It's like what you resist persists. If you're afraid of something and you don't bring up the fear and let it go, you hold on to that fear and hold on to that. Well, whatever you're afraid, it's going to show up and you're making it worse. It's like, and it's almost like I want to say to my mind, but I don't want to criticize it. What are you, stupid? Don't you see what you're doing to yourself? You're killing yourself. Don't do that but I don't. I just walk on, okay, let's see what it is. It's trying to protect itself with fear, or it's trying to protect itself with resistance. Welcome the fear. Again, welcome all feelings so that they're not hiding and they don't go back and repeat like a hamster in a wheel over and over again. Because we're talking about a machine over here. If you're listening to your mind, it's like listening to a leaf blower. It doesn't know what it's doing. So it's just important, just to stay aware of that. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. Thank you. Great reminders too. I love that. And I saw Laura. Did you have your hand up, Laura? Brooklyn has her hand up. Do you want to say something, Brooklyn?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to say, I meant before I forget again, I ego has a way of saying if you think about this too much, it's like having a reverse prayer for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a fear of thinking about it. I just realized that. Yeah.
It's insanity is what it is.
Yeah.
It is absolute insanity because we're trying to we're trying to avoid something that we are actually making happen. We're fostering it because of the energy that we're putting into it. I mean, that's it's so crazy. Yeah, Karen, Laura, did you want to have your hand up? I don't know if you wanted to say something.
I will after Karen. Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Karen. Love to hear what you
Okay.
have to say.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. I just love this and I love what everyone's sharing. And what just came into my mind was a Bruce Lee quote. And I'm sure maybe others quote it, but I heard it first from Bruce Lee. And he says, be like water, be like water. And you can be at peace in any situation. You just accept every situation. And, it's just like what Rafi was said, just welcome it. And that's what I'm learning to do. And I've been doing a good job about it. And I had an experience with my doctor today. He came in and he wanted me to go home today, and I have so much fear about going home because I don't feel ready. But I've been tomorrow will be 8 days, And so I said, how about tomorrow? I said, I'm just not really ready to go home today. So I said, all right, tomorrow, and then I questioned him about my incision, not in a way that I doubted him at all, but just for my own peace of mind. I thought, why is it such a big cut? Like, I was told it was going to be 6 inches and it's like 12. And when I questioned him, I said it in a way where I didn't want him to. I said, I'm not doubting you. I totally trust you, or I never would have came to you. I just wondered why. So he explained it to me, basically what he had to do. He saw what he needed to see, but then there was more stuff he needed to see. So he needed to give himself more space to see it. And that means he had to open me up more. So it was just part of the surgery. He said, look, this is part of what happens. He said, I told him, I thanked him for my other pain is gone. I can actually walk the halls now. So he did his job, but this is what surgery does. You just have to be patient, and you have to wait, and you have to heal, before you can, you're limited to what you can do. I have to keep my back straight all the time, all the time. And I noticed when PT was here today, she said the thing they tell you is it's BLT. Remember, BLT. B, you can't bend, you can't lift, and you can't, what's the last one? Bend, lift, and T is, oh my gosh, I
Turn,
can't believe it. Yeah,
Tango.
twist. Yes, twist,
twist. Yeah.
twist. And I was twisting all day, and I realized that my PT said, what are you doing? You're twisting. I'm like, oh my God, it's such a habit. I said, everything is such a habit. I know I can't bend down. I don't do that. And, but this twisting thing, like turning, not used to keeping my back totally straight. It's a really, talk about practice. This is a practice, and training my mind to be at peace during this. But like what Rafi said is very important. We have to look at that stuff. We can't just hide it, and so this is very helpful for me tonight. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Bless you. I'm so grateful to hear from you, and that
Yeah.
you do sound really good. So, let's hope that I know that you're going to be fine. You're so strong. It amazes me how strong you are. So Laura, go ahead, and then Myrna right after her.
Okay, thank you, Lynn and Karen. It's good to hear you, my dear. Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say, Rafi is so good about the acceptance. You better look at your stuff. The last 6 months, I know I mentioned going through some severe stuff, anxiety and things like that. And as a course student, we have to watch out because I was blaming it on the ego. Now I'm at war with the ego. I'm not looking at the stuff that I need to release, and, stop resisting. I need to let it go. So thank you guys so much. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. Yes, yeah. I mean, thank God we have each other to bounce this stuff off of, because it really is so very helpful to me for sure. That's why I'm so happy. Myrna, please go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm really very happy to hear Karen's voice because I've been asking about her, and I'm really glad that you sound so good. And I just wanted to tell you, Karen, that when you get your email, I sent you an e-card with butterflies and buds and flowers, and so excuse me. So I just wanted to let you know that I'm really happy to hear your voice.
Oh, thank you, Myrna. You're so sweet.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I saw this e-card, I said, this is for Karen, really. It'll cheer you up. Anyway, I'm happy to hear you. That's all.
Thank you, Myrna. You are so sweet. Sharon, please go ahead.
Oh, I want to say the same thing. I'm so glad Karen's here. It's just beautiful. And it's all attitude. It's all attitude. It's all about slowing down and just stopping and just breathing and just being grateful. It's all about gratefulness. Yeah. So I'm happy you're here, Karen. And everyone else. And I loved your poem, and I love hearing from everyone.
Yes. Yes. I always like hearing Lynn with her poems because your voice comes through your poetry. That's you.
Yes, it does.
It's you.
And Myrna, your hair is so magnificent. I just never, is that really all your hair?
Oh, yeah. It's all right.
Oh my God. I mean, she's like 83 years old. My hair's falling out and I'm not even 70.
It was just for the record, I'm 82.
Oh, okay.
Is that your real hair?
82 and absolutely
No, I don't want
gorgeous.
anybody to think I was old, so.
I mean, when I look at your hair, I'm like, how does her, because usually when you get old, your hair falls out. At least I
Oh, my
see.
hair, and I gotta tell you, and I swear to God, this is the truth. I don't even dye it. It never turned gray. I was really lucky about that too. So what can I tell you? You know,
Well, you're just
worked.
beautiful.
Thank you. Anyway, thank you.
Yeah, you guys are so funny. I'm cracking up over here.
Well, I have wigs, so there. But
Oh
tell
my
everybody, I tell everybody when I wear, like sometimes when people say, Sharon, your hair looks so great, I say, it's a wig. This way they can get an idea if they need a wig.
That's right. Absolutely. And
Share
having
whatever
hair is not a
helps
bad
you.
thing. Yeah. Yeah. So, oh my gosh. We're so funny. Brooklyn, please go ahead.
Right, Sharon, I am only here to be truly helpful. And Karen, I wanted to say, thank you so much, for this beautiful update. And I send you Karen Drucker's song, I Will Be Gentle with Myself. I know you are, but just in case you forget. And love you. I'm so glad you're here.
I love you too. And I did get that song and I did listen to it and it was perfect timing. So thank you so much.
So beautiful. Yeah, what a lovely and beautiful and supportive family we have here. I just love it so much. And hey, Vishnu, welcome, welcome. So does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share? Any this is just nice to just, talk about how things are working for us and how the Holy Spirit's working in our life. I think that's a really great idea, Brooklyn, that you came up with. Uh, um, yes, ma'am.
As you all know, yesterday my TV broke. It kept rebooting, and I was on the phone with the guy almost 2 hours, but he's from Virginia and we got to know each other. It was a nice conversation. So a repairman came over today, and oh my God, God sending me angels. He gave me a new box, helped me get on back on YouTube and Pandora. And like, it's funny, I gave him a little something. I said, yeah, it's a little something. And then I says, let me give you a big something. And I hugged him. He says, that I like.
That's really
Yeah,
sweet. Oh my God.
so something like could have freaked me out years ago. There's a new way of looking, new way of being. I'm so grateful for that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brooklyn. Myrna, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Brooklyn that that's what's happening. Everything is working out. You never have to worry about anything. And that's what we spoke about this morning, actually, that's happening. You're in an energetic frequency now that is really, you're flowing with the light. And because there's so much light there, you never have to worry about a thing, everything. I just know that everything, just know that there's never anything to worry about because it'll always work out. I feel that so strongly. So I just wanted to just tell you.
Oh, you're
And
beautiful.
with all this great energy between us, I mean, really, the blowing it your way, you can't miss.
Thank you, Myrna. Laura, please go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I want to thank Myrna for having Rob Schwartz on that time. That was the first I'd heard of him. And his material has really helped me. I've been watching some of his YouTubes, and it makes sense. It kind of fits with the Course in Miracles. That it helped me, getting through stuff because I think I planned this. I planned this for my own spiritual growth. Somehow I needed to get over some fears in my life. It wasn't easy, but that's, like he said, some people pick a real hard life because they want to grow spiritually. So it's been really helpful through this time. So thank you.
Yeah, Rob is a very, very sensitive, wonderful man. You get that from him, and and I think that's what causes people to really want to listen to him. His voice and his messages and what he says, and even I find that more so now than ever, because I met him about 4 years ago. He is so in tune with the Course in Miracles and what he says. Maybe he uses different words,
Yeah.
expresses it a bit differently, but it's all the same. When I listen to him now, I see how far that he's come, and how we met, at this point in time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in the Course it says, what could you not accept if you knew that everything has been planned, so on, for your own good? That fits. There's a lot of Course stuff. It fits in somehow, some way, I just have that sense that, and it's been so helpful. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, this is what's so beautiful about all of this. We're not here just to clean up our own thing and balance our own karma out. We're actually here for the whole sonship. So when I erase it from my timeline, it goes for everybody. And that's because minds are joined. We are all experiencing the benefit of the work that each other is doing. That's why Jesus tells us in the Course, you should be grateful to your brothers because they are doing this for you, and it's true. So we're doing it for each other, and thank you for being here to do it for me too. I love that. John, Sunday, hi, sweetheart.
Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Wow, what a nice conversation here for a Tuesday night. Wow, this is amazing. I'm just thinking about what's going on here, and we started off with the feelings, and what comes from me, what came from me this morning was a fear, and it's like an old fear, like I recognize it as fear, and it's kind of a tightness on my left side, and as soon as I realized my fist was clenched, but I don't know what, I don't know what this is about. I have no idea. It's almost like what you were saying, Lynn. It's so unconscious. I would say it's a hardwired feeling about something that I'm afraid of. And what I came to realize, hey, you know what? I think I'm afraid here of I have a fear of people. What else have I got to be afraid of? There's a people issue here. I'm afraid of some people. So that's what I came up with. But then as I'm listening to the conversation, I'm thinking, and again, what you were saying, the way that we worry about stuff, and that comes true, because that's and that reminded me how the unconscious is subjective. It doesn't hear. If you say don't think of a red cat, you have to think of a red cat. It doesn't process the don't part. So whatever was going in is going to be felt. And so dealing with these old things that have been installed for quite a while is what were one of the challenges. And I hear that in Lynn's voice, where like when she says about her throat and stuff, because and the asthma thing too. They're like it's old concepts that's driving away, that's driving the bus. So basically, it's been a very profitable evening. But for me, I kind of want to go back to the feelings part about us being loving and caring and nurturing or unconditionally loving human beings, which we were at one point, and then this thing appeared, which supposedly, but we didn't have the consciousness. We didn't have the consciousness. We were naked, but we didn't know we were naked. And then we got this thing where we can think about stuff, and we started to think about it, and we started to choose, and we started to re-choose. And oh my God, you might say the birth of the ego, you know, like just taking control, like leaving that world of pure joy and heaven, and going into a world of now choosing. Now there's a problem because if I don't choose, I'll never learn. I'll just stay in that one state. But now, somebody said it earlier about we're all gods here, but we have to know that we're gods. We can't just just keep on living like all the animals and don't know you're naked. We're given this opportunity to know, to know thyself, to know ourselves as this deity, being of deity. And it's such a wonderful thing, but such a mess has been made, and well, like it says in the course, choose and choose again, and it's kind of sad, but in one way, it's an ego to hero, and I'm backing it. I'm backing it because I'm thinking that the hero is learning to go back with knowledge to the way that we were before, understanding the laws and principles and living by them, understanding God's laws, like as they are, as they apply to us, and living them, and that is dealing with all this kind of stuff. So that's where I'm sitting on this, and I just love that I got a chance to express what I think, and to be here tonight, being here, listening to you guys. It's wonderful, and I honor you and thank you and bless you for being here for me today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, John. Wow, you bless us. Bless us, bless us, bless us. So we bless each other. Thank God for that. Thank God we have each other to bless each other. Wow. Brooklyn, please. I'd love to hear what you have to say. I'm kind of overwhelmed by what John just said. So,
Well, John reminded me of a poem I read here yesterday, but you weren't here. I don't think John was here, so I'd like to read it. It was okay. I call it shoulds. Dark pain I feel, that clutching angst. From a chokehold, it begs for freedom. No stories, just echoes, in habits of thought. In sight, it softens. I breathe you in. Anger bubbles through pores in transfiguration. Let all be as it is, as we see what is not. Thank you. You said that feeling. Yeah, that feeling. Yeah.
Thank you, Lynn.
Beautiful,
Yeah,
beautiful.
thank you.
yeah, that's it, so beautiful. We are so lovely. I just love us all
For
so
sure.
much.
We're all working together. We're
Yeah.
all in this together.
Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share? Um, Miracles, experiences.
I would.
Oh, please, Dove, let's hear what you got to say.
First, I'd like to say that I was going to say this at the beginning, but I got caught up in something that had nothing to do with the program. So I'm going to say it now. And I feel that Lynn has come such a long way from when she first got here. I mean, I remember that there was a time that she said, "I just can't talk." So she is the most shining example of a lotus blossom. Truly. I mean, thank you so much, Lynn, for being our poet laureate. Truly. Wow. Really, it's the most perfect fit.
Oh my God.
So on the other thing, on the perfect fit, we were talking this morning. Lynn was on with Myrna, and we were talking about, I think it started when Myrna mentioned that some people think that Course in Miracles is a cult, and wait, it starts getting better and better. And then Lynn said, no, it's a culture, culture. And that really resonated with me. And then Lynn came up with, well, I mentioned, yes, that a culture is one where everybody's like a family and they're growing together. A cult is when one person takes charge and tells you what he thinks, you know. And then Lynn came up with the word cultivating. Now, cultivating is one of the highest rungs of the ladder in any spiritual movement, that we are cultivating our highest powers, literally. And that seems to be going on here. I wouldn't mind extending this conversation even more. In other words, bringing from the morning into the evening. Does anyone want to share on that?
What do you mean, Dove? Like in the morning?
Does anyone resonate with that and feel that that's exactly what's going on here? We are a culture that's cultivating our highest powers.
Right, the highest good. This group has harmony that I've not seen in any other group. But again, I'm projecting it. So,
You
But-
just,
but I just want to say, Dove, I won't be there Thursday. I told Lynn today because I have a funeral, so it'll just be Lori and you. But I'll be listening.
That's
you
okay.
just said it, Dove. We are growing together. That's a form of cultivation. We are
Yes, that's
cultivating, and
right.
we are all growing together. What you just described as Brooklyn's growth, to one degree or another, is in every one of us.
Right.
Because there's no, you are me, I am you. So one can't be growing without having a positive effect on another because we're all connected. And that's the power of these groups. Is one of the tremendous advantages of these groups that we're doing together. Like Lester Levinson used to say, keep holy company. You can't help somebody else without helping everybody else who is around and hears it and absorbs it to one degree or another, of course. But no, you nailed it. You absolutely did.
Thank you so much for that, Rafi. Lynn went on a little bit further, which I also thought was great. She says, well, that's what a culture is. Like if you're having yogurt, I eat a lot of yogurt, and there's a Greek culture. There are all kinds of cultures, and and then she said, if you add milk to an existing yogurt culture, it expands and it increases. So there's more yogurt just from the milk gets mixed in with the culture, and the culture just keeps on growing. That's an amazing thing. Lynn, I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that, and I was thinking there's a lot of things like sourdough. If you eat sourdough bread, it comes from a culture. Or if you drink kombucha, it comes from a culture. They have a sample of it that has all the living creatures, living beings in it. And you mix the yogurt culture in with the milk, and it will grow in the milk and turn the whole milk into yogurt. And then you can take a sample of that and mix it in some more milk and make more yogurt. You can just keep making yogurt forever and ever because it grows. And so, there's so many examples of it that, if it's good, then you make good yogurt. If it's bad, then it'll spoil. So, so we always, only the good culture survives. But I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about um, as a culture, the Course in Miracles community could be very helpful in the world if all our intention was to be the light or spread the light. And sometimes our culture gets spoiled. There's some members of the group that have their own, decide they want to do things their own way or whatever, but they won't survive. What will survive is, and what will grow is the good, helpful, holy culture of it. And that's why, I mean, that's why we're doing what we're doing. is to just keep it going, keep it going. Yeah, and it's the ark. Yeah, that's we were talking about that too, about the ark and how in the course of love we were talking about the ark, and I was realizing as I was reading it that we are the ark, and we're you know it's the same word as like Ark of the Covenant or Ark of the Rainbow. It's a whole uh, circle of light that comes from the one stream of light. But the ark is entered two by two. The Course tells us that, and we are the ark. I am the ark. I hold all of us in me. We hold all of us in us. And that's why, we want to keep gathering up so that we're all safe. Brooklyn, please go ahead.
I saw my nephew from Berlin, and he's so much like his aunt, his aunt, whatever. He believes that we're midwives in the new world, and he's only 42. Yeah, that's a good one. Midwives.
That is really good. Oh, and yeah, Dove was talking about the end of loneliness, and that's exactly that's why I put in the text. We were talking about that yesterday, in the chapter 25, that this what we're doing here is bringing about this connection that we are lonesome no more. You can't be lonely if you are with the sons of God. But if we're separate from each other, we feel lonely. And even one person being left out of that circle or the arc of the rays, not even one person can be left out, or we will be lonely. And I even think the Course says that God is lonely without us.
Yes, it does. It does.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, God is lonely without us because what? Because this is a part of him that seems to be missing. What we are. We miss him, he misses us. Does anybody else have any thoughts about that? Rafi, please go ahead.
Well, it's not exactly. I just want to reflect back on what you said about the rainbow. The rainbow is perfect, but it's an optical illusion. I mean, you can't grab a rainbow. This dream that we're walking through is an optical illusion. It's perfect, but you can't grab it. You can't get it. And I thought that was the perfect metaphor, and I just wanted to thank you for it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it's true. Have you ever tried to find the end of the rainbow and look for the pot of gold? When I was a little kid, we were always running looking for the end of the rainbow. You'll never ever get there uh, because it's always somewhere else. And it is an optical illusion. I love that. And Dove posted in the chat, God is lonely without his sons, and they are lonely without him. They must learn to look upon the world as a means of healing the separation. The atonement is the guarantee that they will ultimately succeed. And that's it. Ultimately we will. And when is ultimately? Now. Now we already have. We're not aware of it. That's the only difference. Does anybody else have anything that they'd like to share?
Yeah. And there's another quote from the Course, text chapter 7, section 8. And the other was text chapter 2, section 3. This says, you are as lonely without understanding this as God himself is lonely when his sons do not know him. The peace of God is understanding this. Wow. The peace of God is understanding this. Wow. There's only one way out of this world's thinking, just as there was only one way into it. And this is one of my favorite sentences. If you really want to understand totally, you must understand totality. Yes, the totality is all included now.
Absolutely. And we are all on the ark.
Yeah, that's from the section called the totality of the kingdom, which is one of the great sections, chapter 7, section 7. That's the one that says if you deny your brother a blessing, you have denied your own blessing. And then it says denial is as total as love. That's how we got here. We denied the love of God. We denied the love of God. It's that simple. And that's exactly what it means in that paragraph. There's only one way out of this world's thinking, just as there was only one way in. And what is that? In chapter 21, section 7 is called the last unanswered question. And the last unanswered question is, are you willing to see what you denied because you denied the truth? And the way out is to deny the denial. It's a double negative. A double negative becomes a positive.
Thank you. That's beautiful, Dove. Absolutely. The denial of truth. Rafi, please go ahead.
One of the great traps is that the ego mind, the finite, can't possibly understand the infinite. It can't possibly understand totality. And that's why it's important to put that mind in, make it go quiet. So that's the totality is the only thing that's obvious, and we know that we are that. And
Well said, Rafi. Thank you.
I just do that.
That's you're right. The ego has no way of understanding totality. No way. Because it's a part.
Yeah. It can't understand what's beyond its being, and that's why we're always limited. As long as we're thinking with the ego, we'll never ever get out. And it's really when we learn to think with God and allow God in. That's it. Keep no secrets from God. That's a real interesting topic that he talks about in the course. But anyways, our time is up. I'm, thinking tomorrow, because tomorrow's my day off. So I think I might be getting to see Regis, I'm hoping. I haven't seen him at all since they've been here, but they've been, setting things up, getting ready for their new house and probably cleaning. I'll bet you they're, anytime I'm moving into a new place, I'm always going and cleaning before my stuff arrives. So, we'll be excited to see him if I get the chance. But anyways, thank you guys. I love you all so much. And so
You're
grateful
all
for
so
you being here.
cute. Look at Rafi with his little hands up. I love
I
it.
know everybody's so sweet. I just
That's
love
how
you
you
all
say
so
I
much.
love you in sign language, sweetie.
Yeah. Oh,
This
we
is
love
people
you, everybody.
say it in sign language.
Say,
You know,
say,
if he's
Bye.
here,
say hi to Regis from me, please.
I will do so, John. If I see him, I definitely will do so. And I hope I get to see him. It's it's pretty funny. Anyway, I love you guys. I will talk to you all Thursday.
Big
good
hug.
night.
Big
Good
hugs from
night.
all too. Yep. I love
Good
it.
night and thank you all.
Good night, Karen. I love you,
Good
sweetheart.
night, Tara.
Thank you
Feel
all.
good.
Night.
Love
Sleep
you
well,
all. Thank
Karen.
you so much.
Thank you, too.